The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, welcome to the AbleSys webinar. Ron here, and I'll be glad to go over the charts and the results and the signals and show you the best way to use the software. Got a couple of new things that we're going to talk about today. I'm always, and I mean always, trying to improve things, and we're all in the same boat, so I'm always trying to make things better for all of us. Sometimes the market action just drives you nuts, and it's just not a whole lot you can do about it. But at least with AbleTrend, using the two time frames together, the guidance chart, it's definitely going to alleviate and give us a heads up when the markets are going to be extra risky and choppy or sideways. So that's great, because no trade zones certainly keep us out of trouble. But we've tweaked a couple things that have made it a little bit better. So really one main thing, and that's we have added AbleTrend TS, or replaced AbleTrend 2 with AbleTrend TS. So right up here, I just happen to have a daily weekly chart. No, actually, I'll do it on the other. We'll look at it on the other chart, because the daily weekly uses AbleTrend 3 on the weekly chart. So let's just jump in here, and then I'll get to that in a minute, because those are for the intraday charts. Instead of using AbleTrend 2, we use an AbleTrend TS. And it's just slightly, it's a minor tweak. It's not going to really notice much of a difference. However, the no trade zones are a little bit more accurate, so it's keeping us out of trouble more often, and it's even getting us into the trades just a tad sooner. So it's just working out really well. And of course, yesterday and today were two excellent intraday trading days for day traders using AbleTrend signals. It was a lot. That worked out really well. We picked up a couple of nice big trends. But let's just take a quick look at the daily weekly chart, because not everybody can or even has any interest in intraday trading. And AbleTrend works just as well for longer term trading, daily and weekly charts, whether you trade options or just trade shares, or even other markets like futures or Forex. Daily, weekly charts work great, especially for retirement accounts and stocks and ETFs and et cetera. So after an obvious no trade zone right over here, and a no trade zone being defined, the red dots block the prices from going higher. It's like there's an invisible wall there that's going to stop the prices from going higher. The bigger dots in this case is the weekly chart. The smaller dots is the daily chart. Is the daily dots. They come up under every bar, where the big dots only come in once per week. This is a daily, weekly stock chart. So after a very accurate and helpful no trade zone, because it was down, up, down, then back up, and a month later it was back in the same spot. So we avoided all this choppy mess where you couldn't have won if we traded, or anybody else couldn't have won if they traded either. That was a great no trade. It's just as important not to trade as it is knowing when to buy and when to sell. Sometimes people forget it's just as important knowing when not to trade at all. Just step aside. It's just too risky. The conditions just aren't right. AbleTrend will only signal buy and sell signals when the odds are greatly in your favor, or in the software's favor. If it's not, it's just going to be a no trade zone. We're just not going to take on a lot of risk. That's it. You got to be disciplined enough not to do that, because if you do, you're taking a chance. And we're all about, first and foremost, not losing. That's more important than winning. Of course, winning is important, but first and foremost, you just don't want to lose. Nobody wants to blow out their accounts, or certainly no big losses. Now you say, what's this little arrow you see over here? Well, that's what I'm going to introduce tonight, and that's the AbleTrend SIG indicator. What it is, it's like a heads-up indicator. It's kind of like giving us a little bit of an inside look of what might come. It gives us extra confidence. Just a different algorithm that the software is using a different formula. So it's very helpful, especially when we're in the trade. And as you can see right over here, it's like reassurance. It's like saying, stay in the trade. We're looking good. Went a little choppy here, a little sideways, but we're good. We're still good. Everything is looking good. So it's kind of like a little confidence builder, or giving you a little bit of reassurance. Now, if we had a blue arrow on the way up, say down here, well, that would be kind of like a warning, and it flashes. You get it In this case, you'd get it, every 5 days, because this is a weekly chart. When we look at the 1 minute, 3 minute, E-mini NASDAQ chart, it can flash for 3 minutes because it's a 3 minute signal, not a 1 minute. So the point is, it's not a buy signal, it's not a sell signal, it's just a heads up, it's a warning. If we get an opposite colored one, like if a blue arrow pops up, then it's like telling us, hey, you know what? Might want to take a little bit of money off the table because it looks like we might be heading back up shortly. It's kind of a little bit of a look ahead, telling us what looks like is coming, as well as a confidence builder when we got a nice long trend to say, hey, stay in it, we're good. Like right here, a lot of people are going, I'm only up, winning just a little bit, and we got a little. Now we're over here, we were actually back to even at one point. It's just kind of going sideways. I don't know. Maybe this isn't going to work out. But when the arrow comes, it's like, no, we're good. Hang in there. Now, the arrow, technically speaking, can come off the chart because in this case, this is 5 days. It's a weekly. When we look at the intraday, it's a 3 minute arrow, just like a 3 minute X or a 3 minute dot. So my point is, it's not a buy or sell signal. It's just a heads up or a confidence build. And as it turns out, we're still in the trade today at 150 after AbleTrend gave this signal to me, you, and everybody else at 177. That's a $27 winner, and we got a stop loss here at 158, which is nice. The worst we can do is make $17. So we're really $22. So this is a really nice trade. And as long as you've got the red dots above, stay in the trade. You're safe. Stay in the trade. You're safe. Okay? You got the red dots above, it means stay short. If you got the blue dots below, it means stay long. You're safe. That's the key of the dots, the small dots. Stay in the trade. You're safe. You've got protection. I know it's going to go up and down because every second of the day it goes up and down. It doesn't wiggle around. It doesn't go one way only. It shoots up, it shoots down. Even every minute it's up, down, 2 points up, 3 points down, 2 points. That's the market. That's the way it is. You can't do anything about that. Nobody can control that part. Got to just hang in there if you still have the blue dots below. Okay, now let's get a little more deeply into it. This is, of course, your 1 minute, 3 minute mini NASDAQ chart, which was another very big winning day again today. Yesterday and today. If you just traded yesterday and today, one contract, you made enough money to buy it, almost enough money to buy it for the whole year, just in 2 days, and you would have had the next 365 days to use it. So that's a pretty good deal. Make enough money to buy it in 2 days, and now you have it for a whole year's worth of good signals. And they'll be losing trades too. I'll guarantee you that. You can count on that for sure. They'll be losing trades, and they'll be losing days. That's going to happen. There's no perfect system, nor is this. So I want to make that clear. I'm not here to mislead anybody because I wouldn't want that done to me. Now, you see the arrow again right here. Let me show you how to put this on. First of all, we're using TS in the bands, of course, on the 1 minute chart. On the 3 minute chart, we don't have AbleTrend 2. We're now using AbleTrend TS. So where's the deal? We got TS on the 1 minute. We got TS on the 3 minute. And if you use a 5 and a 15, or a 10 and a 30, or a 3 and a 9, or 1 hour, 3 hour, same thing. Make it easy. TS on both time frames. Well, that's easy enough. It's the exact same thing on both time frames. Now, we added AbleTrend SIG to the higher time frame. Okay, this is a 1 minute, 3 minute chart. So all we do is we just hit the drop down box, put a check mark in SIG, and click add. Now, the thing is, I change it. I like the arrows, up arrow and the down arrow. Otherwise, you get little dots. So the up arrow, for a buy stop, just click up arrow right here. Okay, and I just made it a little bit bigger weight, so it's a little bigger arrow. For sell stop, you click down arrow, and you'll get the red arrow down. And again, I just made it a little thicker, a little bigger, so you could see it. Okay, it's the same thing for daily, weekly, Tom. Exact same thing like I'm showing you now. It's meaningless no matter what time frames we're looking at. It's exactly the same. The trend SIG. The daily, weekly chart, as you know by now, because we've been using AbleTrend 3 on the weekly chart. On the daily or on the lower time frame, It's always, always, always AbleTrend TS. On the upper time frame, if you're doing daily, weekly, we just use AbleTrend 3, and we also add AbleTrend SIG. Okay? On the intraday, we use AbleTrend TS on the lower, TS on the upper. That's simple enough. And we add AbleTrend SIG on the upper chart, And in this case, the upper or the higher is the 3. The lower would be the 1, the higher would be the 3. So we just add, again, just put a check mark in SIG, click add, sell stop, you make a down arrow, buy stop, you make an up arrow. That's all you have to do. You click OK, you're done. Don't change anything else. Don't mess with anything else. Keep it simple. It's that easy. Kyle's tried to set it up in Ninja 8. Doesn't allow you to remove the OHLC bars from the 3-minute. So it shows both the OHLC and your chart. There is a way to do that, Kyle. I don't use Ninja. I obviously use AbleTrend 7 all these years, but I know that there's a way to do that because somebody actually asked me that question, and I sent them to tech support, and they fixed it. So Eric in tech support will know how to do it. You can give him a call in the morning. Just call in and ask for tech support, and I know he knows how to do that. I don't want to say because I'm not sure. I don't use the Ninja platform, but I know you can do it. Oh, okay, yeah, you're welcome. He'll know in 2 minutes. He'll know exactly what to do. Jack, yeah, shorter time frame only TS. Well, you've always had TS on the shorter time frame only, so that's the same. Correct, Jack. It's just now on the higher time frame intraday. This is only for minute charts. Intraday. We're also using TS and we're using SIG because SIG gives us a heads up what's coming down the road. Also, it keeps us in the trades. For example, okay, we're in over here. Technically speaking, it was in the signal came in pre-market, but we always use the 10-point rule. And here's another thing: if you've got this arrow here and you're even above the 10-point rule, you know what? I'm honoring the arrow and I'm going in. That's the only time you can get in on a green bar, and that's the only time you can get in if your price is even further than that. If I've got the dot, the X, and the arrow, and then of course that's quadruple confirmation. So you just got a whole load of indicators with the wind at our back. The whole load of indicators with everything in our favor. It's not always going to be 100% before we're really up in the percentages of that being a good trade, a winning trade. So after we're into this trade, right in here is where we're actually in on the trade. Any one of these blue bars, you've got the triple confirmation. And here's what's nice, because that was about a 30, we actually got stopped out right here. But that was like a close to a 30-point winner. So that was a really big winner right there, as you can see. But here's the key. Look at this arrow come in. Now, it might have even come in a bar or two after that. So my point is, it'll flash because it's a 3-minute arrow. So you could have it here, and then a bar or two later it goes away, which could happen with any, the bar could turn red on a 3-minute bar, or even a 1-minute bar, it can turn red. A couple seconds later, it could go to green. It could go back to blue. But once the 1-minute bar is over, it locks in. It will never, ever change again. Well, it's the same thing with the arrow. 3 minutes after the arrow comes in, it will never, ever change again. And the arrow is not a buy or sell signal, so it's really not that important. I just like when it comes in and it flashes, it's giving us a little bit of a heads up saying, hey, you know what? We're looking good. Now, right here, it went a little sideways. In fact, it even pulled back. And you'd be thinking, oh, no. But you know what? It just gave me, and everybody's going to give you a little extra confidence when you've got the up arrow there. That don't worry. It's like kind of like somebody kind of sitting beside you saying, no. Stay in it. We're good. It's like a confidence builder or a reassurance to say we're okay. It's just another algorithm, AbleTrend algorithm, telling us we're good. Stay in it. We like this. We're still happy with the trade. Andrew, with changing to the TS indicator, the trends seem to last longer than the usual 30 minutes. Yes. I've noticed that, and I've had a couple of people, because I actually told a couple of people a day or two ago about this, new indicator that I'd be introducing tonight, and they've been kind of monitoring it the last day or two, going, "Wow, you're right. I do like it better." So far, the feedback's been great. Not going to be 100%. I know I keep saying it, but we're still going to get losing trades. Count on that. Bill, back at the 930, the chart is flat, but scroll back and see the chart difference. Back at 9:30, which is when the market opens Eastern time. Yeah, I mean, if you got in earlier, as somebody who likes to trade pre-market, yeah, that's a really, that was a great pre-market signals. Pre-market doesn't always work out. This one happened to. But look at the arrow. I love when I see that arrow. It just gives you like a heads up. Look after that, how it went sideways. If you didn't have that arrow, you'd be thinking, I don't know, it's looking a little rough. But the arrow just kind of like, no, we're good. Just hang in there. The odds are still in our favor. So the trend sig is really, really helpful. I find it to work real well. Again, you even had one here. 45 minutes after it said stay in it, we were good. Now, as it turns out, we were stopped out. But you got the arrow over here on a green bar. Now, this arrow actually might have come in here. In other words, it might have been flashing on the green bar in and out, but it actually, 2 minutes after this arrow comes in, actually 3 minutes, it's a 3-minute arrow. So you've got to wait 1, 2, 3 bars. When this bar closes here, that arrow will never change again. Because again, the arrow's on the trend sig indicator is on the 3-minute chart. Doesn't matter if it comes in, it goes out. Really doesn't matter. I mean, of course you want it to stay. But the point is, it's just giving us a heads up and a nice reassurance. Hey, we're still good to go. And as a matter of fact, the trend went even higher until, of course, we were stopped out over here. So the point is, the arrow's really helpful. The trend sig arrow is really, really working well. It's just giving us a little bit of confidence to stay in the trade. Here, look over here. The red arrow came in even before the sell signal. Now, doesn't mean get out, just means, hey, the warning, hey, this thing's looking like it wants to go down. Get ready. There could be a red bar. We could have a sell signal coming in. We could be getting out of this trade soon. As it turns out, yeah, a bar or two later we did. SIG only on weekly for daily weekly. Yes, Tom. SIG only goes on the higher time frame. Don says, how do you load TS? Can you just add it? Yes, Don, I'll show you again. Where you had AbleTrend 2 over here, you remove AbleTrend 2, and you simply add AbleTrend TS, and then click Add. You put a check mark in AbleTrend TS, and then you click Add. And then you can play around with the weight. I make the dots a little bigger and all, and then I added AbleTrend SIG. Then I added AbleTrend SIG here, as I already explained. And on the buy stop, I hit an up arrow, and on the sell stop, I hit a down arrow. And that's how you get to this chart right here. Harry says the band closing and expanding means what? It means nothing. It tells you the market sideways when it's kind of close together. Well, we already could see that. It's a free indicator, so it's telling you what happened after it already happened. Well, I don't need anybody to tell me that, the market went up or it went down. It already happened. So, the bands are just used for profit taking. Like right here, great place to take some profit. Like right here, great place to lock in a lot of profit. Like right here, a great place to lock in another point where there was a lot of profit. It was another very big winning day yesterday and today. Very big. Simply following the AbleTrend signals. And you didn't have to use this new indicator to get these signals. AbleTrend 2 still had a very big winning day also. In just 2 days, you'd have paid for the software for a year if you had the patience to take to sit in front of your computer and make these trades, and the discipline to follow the rules and make the trade. That's all you had to do. It's a super simple system to use. It's very easy. It's color coordinated. All you're doing is following colors. When everything is blue, you're buying. When everything is red, you're selling. And when there's a combination of red or blue, you're staying away. That's all we're doing. Really, that's all it comes down to. Of course, there's some more nuances to it. No trade zone here. Sell signal here, which is a small losing trade. After about 30-point winner, we had a 2-point loser. I'm okay with that, and I think anybody else would too. Look how interesting this is. Look how the blue arrow comes in here, and again, it might have been flashing here, and it might have stuck. It might have even come off, but certainly when this came in, which was a couple of minutes later, then it's going to print blue and stay on there. But look what happened. Just look ahead 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later. Well, 10 minutes later, you get another blue arrow. It's like, well, wait a minute now. This thing isn't even going up. It's basically going sideways. In fact, it's really choppy. And in fact, from here to here, it went down. Yet we've got 2 blue arrows here. Ooh, something's brewing here. Something's cooking is what AbleTrend SIG is telling me and you and everybody else. And look what happened, 10 minutes later. It popped up 8 points. And then eventually it popped up by 30 points, 25 points. Because look at this sweet spot here. I mean, does it get any better than this? This is just your textbook AbleTrend low-risk sweet spot trade, where you've got a blue bar right on top of the blue dot, a blue X, I mean, no red dots above. Your risk is super low because your stop loss is only 3 points below the trade. You've got 3 points at risk. Normally it's 10 points or sometimes even more. You got 3 points at risk. Even if we lose, no big deal. Nobody's going to get beat up or hurt on 3 points. And if that's hurtful, you better not be a trader. You better look to do something else. And how did that trade work out? Worked out nice. Picked up about 7 or 8 points. Got stopped out right here. Previous lower, blue dot. Arrow comes in, giving us a heads up. Obvious no trade zone here. Arrow comes, trend SIG comes in here, gives us the heads up. Yeah, it's a losing trade. Got to be fair about it. No, we lost 6 points on that trade. I mean, we're up like 30-something points for the day. We gave, had to get back 6 points there. No trade zone here. X and an arrow, meaning a 3-minute resistant point and an arrow. Then we get the blue, and then we get the red bar. Woo! That's a lot of odds in our favor right there. Seriously good trade, because boy, did that thing drop like it pushed it off the edge of a mountain there, because that thing dropped like 10 points in 10 minutes, and it hit the bottom bands. Take some profit when it hits those bottom bands. Guess what? Another arrow comes in here, and another trend SIG, more red dots and arrows and bars, and I mean, it's just a sea of red. The software is screaming at us to get short, or hopefully you were short already, but there's a sweet spot, about 3 or 4 of them in case you missed the beginning of that trade. You had another opportunity to get in here with these beautiful sweet spots. Red bar, red dot, red X, red arrow, about 10 minutes before that happened. I mean, it's just, you can't get more odds in your favor. You can't get lower risk than this. There's no such thing as a guaranteed trade, but boy, that's pretty close. You got a lot of odds in your favor. Again, it will be losing trades even when you see all this. But boy, I'll take my chances on this every time. And that was another home run. That was a really, really good trade. Although yesterday's last half hour was 60 points profit AbleTrend gave us all. You, me, and everybody else. 60. Not 6, which 6 is still good. 60, 6-0. And this was a good run right here because, of course, we're out here on the blue bar with the blue dot. Nothing wrong with 10 points right here. Nothing wrong with that. Then, of course, a no trade zone. And then another beautiful triple confirmation signal. Red bar, red 1 minute, red 3 minute, X. I just have X's here. You can use dots. Sometimes dots, sometimes X's. I just switch around because everybody likes something different. I mean, you gotta just love it. Now, when you're in this trade already, this would have been a little scary. Oh no, we're actually losing a couple points at one point. But then, you know what? 5 minutes later, we get the reassurance. We get trend SIG coming in. Of course, you already had the X and the dot and the red bar. Whew. That's just like giving me a little, okay, I'm good. We're good. We can make it here. As it turns out, that was only about a break-even trade. However, we did hit the bottom band here, and look what happened here. We got the heads up that this blue bar and the exit signal was going to come in, because a couple of bars before we got the trend sig arrow up. So trend sig tends to be like a really fast indicator. I like it. It's kind of a heads up. It's not going to be right every time, but it just gives us like a heads up that we could have a possible trend change coming up. Like right here is a perfect example of a possible trend change. Possible trend change with this blue arrow coming in before we actually had the exit signal, the blue bar with the blue dot, which is a buy signal on the 1 minute chart. So it's kind of cool how it gave us the heads up before it even happened. And then we had a couple of extra red arrows here while we're in the trade, saying stay there, you're good. Don't get nervous, we're good. It's like reassurance. That's what I like about it. It's a little extra confidence. Look at this trade here yesterday, the last half hour, one of the best trades of the year. Blue bar, blue dot, I'm sorry, red bar, red dot, red big dot, or red big X, whichever you like to use. Hard to see, but there's an arrow right there too. It was quadruple confirmation. I mean, that's just downright scary. Jack says, how do you know if the red or blue arrow peters out? You don't. You'll know after 3 minutes, because after 3 minutes it locks in. It will never change again. And again, I know I keep repeating it, but the arrow is not a buy or a sell signal. It's a heads up. It's a what's to possibly to come. It's a if to stay in the trade. You know, it's giving us a little bit of an inside look of what's happening. Bob saying, show the short time frame setup again. I'm not sure what you mean, Bob. What do you mean the short time frame setup? You have me a little confused. So just be a little more specific, and I'll answer that. The 1 minute, well, this is what we've been looking at the whole time. For the last 30 minutes. This is the 1 minute, 3 minute chart. If you mean this here, we've got the TS and the Boley bands on the 1 minute, and this is the same. We've had this here for 10 years, so no change there. And on the higher time frame, we've got TS again instead of AbleTrend 2, and we've also added a SIG. So we've got SIG and TS on the higher time frame. In this case, it would be the 3 minute chart. So hope that helps. You're welcome, Bob. So yesterday, the last 30 minutes, which I always find to be the best time of the day to trade, personally, day trade. You've got everything red, and the price came in real close to the red dots, like 5 points away, so super low risk trade. And look what happened 30 minutes later here at the 4 o'clock New York close, which is 1 o'clock on the West Coast. It dropped 60. Let's even call it 50, because I always like to make it even less than really what it actually was. 50 points profit. Yeah, Michael said it good. It's kind of a stress calmer when you get that extra arrow in. You know, because it's stressful being in the trade, especially if you're in it for a while. Yeah, good point, Michael. It's a stress calmer in an existing trade. And when it and it's also giving us a heads up if the trade's going to turn. You know, it's kind of giving us a little bit of a warning, kind of flashes a little warning. Watch this closely. This could be turning. So just kind of telling you, hey, keep an eye on that chart. Don't walk away. But look at this trade yesterday. I mean, does it get any better than that? I mean, that's just beautiful. And AbleTrend gave it to us. If you had the discipline to just take the trade, that's all you had to do. Just follow the same rules we've been going over for years and years now. Well, you just nailed, $1,000 in a half an hour for one contract. Good stuff right there. You only wish it could happen more often, but we can't control that. That's the market price action. And then you're scrolling back to, right now, well, this is live, which is hardly any movement. It's after hours. It's moving, as you can see, but it's kind of, it hardly moves. Yeah, Harry says, you can take profit. That's fine. You can take a little, definitely take something off when you get an opposite arrow. Yeah, I agree with that. So good stuff. We're doing everything we can to help everybody, ourselves included. We're always, literally all day long, I'm looking for clues to improve things. And that's what the webinars are for. So glad you were here. We do them live every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. This, of course, will be recorded and will be in tomorrow and be on the website tomorrow. I'm sure everybody has the link by now, or you can just go to our website, ablesys.com, and click on free webinars. Jack, wonderful as always. Thank you, Jack. Tom, great stuff. You're welcome, Tom. Appreciate it, Ron, from Kyle. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks, Kyle. You too. Bob, big help. Thanks. You're welcome, Bob. Michael, missed the 933 entry at 10 points. It was a little rich for me. Yeah, I know. That one was it was like right on the 10 points. So understand, could understand that. Roop, thank you. You're welcome. Harry, thank you. You're welcome. Thanks, everybody. Michael says thanks. You're welcome, Michael. Well, we got all the good guys here, and girls too. All my buddies in here. Thanks for being here, everyone. You know, I'm always trying and always willing to help in any way I can. Have a great night, everyone.